Hello, welcome again to Block 3, Equality and Equivalence, Lesson 4. I'll share my screen. So, in your previous lesson, you learned how to use bar model, finding fact families from the bar model, and then determining which of the fact families would help you solve one-step equation involving addition and subtraction. You also represented the problem in as a function machine, okay? And you also looked at how you could also solve the same equation using a function machine. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to use fact families involving multiplication and division to solve one-step linear equations involving multiplication and division. But before we start, I would like you to answer or practice with these retrieval questions to help you remember the things you learned in your previous lessons. Not only the previous lesson, but some lessons that were done some time ago. So you can pause the video and do these questions in 4 minutes. I want you to really think about what you're doing, okay, to help you recall what you learned in your previous lesson. Okay, I would assume that you have done that, so let's check the answers. So here we're told to write the fact family for the bar model. This bar model represents multiplication and division bar model. You can clearly see that we have a big bar for 21, but we also have another bar that has equal width as 21 but is split into 6 equal parts. Now if you think about it, from our very early lessons, this means 6 lots of k, which we can write as k times 6 or 6 times k, which is this one. Why? Remember, multiplication is commutative, so we can swap the 6 and the k around. Now, if you also think about it, this can also be represented as 21 divided by 6 equal to k. So it's like saying 21 split into 6 equal parts according to this bar model will give us k. Or you can, write it the other way around to say, no. 21 divided by k will give us 6 groups. So it's like saying, if I divide 21 by k, I'm going to get 6 groups of that. Yeah? Okay. Now here we ask, which of the following equations below, which one does not belong to the same fact families? You can see here that that one means 7 lots of q equal to 25. We can rewrite it as this. It's like saying 25 divided by q will give us 7, a bit like this one here. You see that? And then this one is a bit like this. Okay, so obviously this is the odd one out. All right, and then as a function machine, you're told to work out this function machine, work out the input for the function machine. Drum roll, what do you think we're going to use? Inverse operations, of course. Okay, so you can use inverse operation, you'll get your answer. All right, let's do some new learning. So look at the bar model we used for our retrieval practice. Here, we can write this like this, right? So we can choose to write all the facts, write all the fact family for this bar model. But the key question is, which one would help us get k? Remember, when you're told to solve an equation, you're actually looking for the number that represents the letter. Yeah, you're trying to solve to get, okay, what number does this letter even represent? Okay, so it's obviously this one. If you have a think about it, it's this one. Yeah, because K is equal to 21 divided by 6. And K is 3.5. What about this one? How would you represent this bar model? Have a think. Discuss with the person seated next to you or anyone who is watching this video with you. How would you represent this as a bar model? We have 8 lots of G is equal to 42. Okay, I think you may be thinking the way I'm thinking right now. We have a big bar of 42 and we have that same bar equal to another bar of the same width but 8 lots of G in that bar. So it's going to look, just a minute, it's going to look like this. So if we draw it as a bar model, it looks like this. But also have a think, can you draw it as a function machine? I want you to have a think. So, try to write something somewhere. Is it possible to represent this as a function machine? And then I want you to write the fact families after you've done that. Okay, I'm sure you've done that. You've paused the video, you've worked through that. Here is what we have. Here is what we have. Yeah, so we have 8 lots of G and then 42. Now, if we want to write the fact families, of course, the first one that is really obvious is this one here, which is actually the equation we were given to solve. So 8 lots, which is 8 times G, yeah, 42 is 8 times G. And of course, you can quickly write the commutative one, which is to swap the 8 and the G. So 42 is G times 8, right? Another one you can quickly write, I'm sure you spotted that already, is G is equal to 42 divided by 8. So if we want G, we need to divide 42 by 8 into 8 portions because we have 8 lots of G. Now, another way you can rewrite it, okay, but we can rewrite it as 42 divided by G is equal to 8. Now, this here may not be so clear, but there is a question coming up that we will discuss to say, what do we really mean if we say 42 divided by G? How do we explain this? And as a function machine, this is what is going on. So to find the inputs, we can do the inverse operation, which gives us the same result as that one. Okay, have a go at questions 1 to 6. I want you to pause the video and do question 1 to 3 in 5 or 6 minutes. Assuming you've paused the video and you've really taken your time to work through these questions, thinking hard and working hard, here are the answers. Here are the answers for question 1. Here you're asked to complete the fact family for the bar model. Okay, this one is really straightforward. 3 lots of B, which is 3 times B, is 51. And you can write it the other way around. And then you see here 51 divided by B is equal to 3, or 51 divided by 3 is equal to B. And then you're being asked which one would help you get B. It's obviously this one. You can see this divided by that is equal to B, and the answer is 17. Here we're asked, write the fact family for the bar model. Okay, here we have A lots of 4. Yeah, or sorry, 4 lots of A. Yeah, and then you can rewrite it as commutative, which is 30 divided by 4 is equal to A, or 30 divided by A is equal to 4. But which one would help us get A? Obviously, it's this one. And our answer will be 7.5. Here is the answer to question 3. So we're told to draw a bar model to illustrate 5C is equal to 105. 5C means 5 lots of C. So remember how to draw the multiplication bar model. So 5 equal lots of C is equal to the big bar of 105. And then write the fact family for your bar model. Of course, by now you should know how to write the fact family. And then you can work out the value of C by using this from the fact family. Here is question 4. Okay. So remember, we were asked to work from question 4 to 6. We've done question 1 to 3. So here is question 1, 4 to 6. I want you to pause the video and answer this in 5 to 6 minutes. Okay, assuming you've paused the video and you've really thought about what you're doing, you've worked through the questions, here are the answers. Let's discuss them. Here, Mo is solving the equation 10a is equal to 2. Mo quickly rushed and said, the value of a is 5. Is Mo right? No, obviously not. Mo is wrong. If a is actually 5, remember what we learned even earlier on in algebra, right? 10a is the same thing as 10 times a. So if Mo is right, then if we multiply 10 by if we multiply 10 by a, whatever Mo says a is, it should give us this same equation back. It should give us that. But no, that won't be right because 10 times 5 is 50. It's not 2. So Mo is clearly wrong. So that is another way of checking your equation. If you think you've found the number for the letter, when you put it back into the equation, you should get what you should have. So that's wrong. But with this, then it means the equation is right because 10 times 0.2, remember the equation is 10 times a is equal to 2. Then you can see 10 times 0.2 is equal to 2. So this is right. So that is one way of checking that you have solved your equation properly. You can take your answer, put it back into the equation, and see whether it is equal to the value that they say the equation is equal to. Okay. Here is the answer to question 5. Here you're told to solve the equation. By now, when you really get used to the bar model, you begin to are you beginning to find out that you even don't use it anymore because you just know, oh, this to get G is 24 divided by 4. Oh, to get H is 186 divided by 5. To get K is 19.8 divided by 6. And to get P is 6 divided by 20. Yeah. That really comes quickly once you do this for a while. You begin to realize that you don't really need to draw the bar model every time because you've used it so many times and it just sticks. Yeah. Okay, here are the answers for question 6. So Teddy is solving the equation 4a is equal to 3,384. He thinks the value of a is 1,412. Without solving the equation, explain why Teddy is incorrect. Remember what I showed you earlier on? Yeah? Let's check it out. So if he is right, then it means, so we don't need to solve the equation. If this is right, it means 4 times 1,412 should be equal to 3,824. We don't even need to solve it. You can clearly see 4 lots of this already exceeds that. So you just know straight away that it's wrong. You say no, because 4 times 1,412, we clearly, just looking at it, you don't even need to write. Just looking at the number, you say, no, 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 that's not right. Because if you simply just say, oh, I know 4A means 4 times A, that's not going to be right. Okay. So that's how you spot mistakes. Okay. And it comes through practice. That's why it's important. You pause the video, you do your practice, and you really, really, get that mastery in. Okay. Maths mastery. All right. What about this one? Let's do some new learning. So if we say solve the equation y divided by 3 equal to 4.7, how do we represent this as a bar model? Remember, the bar model helps us to really get a good basic understanding of what's going on. And then once we get used to it, you don't even need to use it all the time. Now, obviously, this means we're going to get a big bar of y. Yeah. And that big bar of y, we need, what is telling us is that if that big bar of y, if we split it into 3 equal parts, we're going to get 4.7. So really, this is what it should look like. Yeah. So what are some of the facts we can write about this? The first fact is this one here, which is the question we're given. So I want you to pause and think about some of the facts, fact family you can write about this bar model. So the first one is this one. Yeah, you write it out. Y divided by 3 is equal to 4.7. And I'm sure by now you'll be thinking, okay, I know how to rewrite this. Y divided by 4.7 is equal to 3. Yeah, because it's like saying, oh, that means if I use y, because I know what, and divide y by 4.7, I'll get 3 groups. I'll get 3 groups of that. Yeah. And then y is equal to 4.7 times 3. That one is clearly straightforward because remember the earlier bar models we did. So y is equal to 3 lots of 4.7. And then it's commutative. You can write it the other way around. Y is equal to 3 times 4.7. But which one can we use to get y? You're thinking right now. It's clear. It's that one there where y is written equal to some operation that we need to do. And our answer is 14.1. Okay, here is this interesting one, the one I was saying we should really talk about. Yeah? Note how different it is. Look at that. Look at this one. We're told to draw a bar model to represent the equation 42 divided by c equals 14. You'll be thinking right now, what is this? You want me to divide a number with a letter? How is that even possible? Well, just wait and watch. Well, there are 2 ways you could possibly think about this. The first one is you could say, okay, you could say, yeah, I can write it like this. That's all right. Yeah, because, we know how to represent that. We could think 42 shared into C equal parts because that's how we've been thinking about bar model, right? The big bar is divided by whatever is underneath and we share it into those number of equal parts. But this is a letter. How do we even divide 42 into C equal parts? Do we even know what C is? No, we don't. So we have to think about it another way. And that is why the groups have been mentioning earlier on. So we can think about it by saying, okay, it means if I divide 42 by C, I am having 14 groups of C. So if I divide by C, so there are 14 groups of C in 42. That's what this means. Although we don't know what C is, we don't really know the number, but you should know that this means there are 14 groups of C in 42. So when you think about it that way, you'll be able to solve the problem. And that looks like this. So that's what it actually means. Now we can write the fact family and solve the question, right? Because you know how to write the fact family for division, okay? And you can use it to solve the question. Yeah? Okay. I would like you to pause the video and have a go at questions 7 and 8. You can do this in 4 minutes. Assuming you've paused the video and you've really worked through this, here are the answers. So here you're told to circle the calculation you can use to find out the value of E. It's clearly this one, because when you write the fact family, you see that this one is what would work. Yeah? And then here you told Amir and Ron are solving the equation. You ask Amir and Ron are solving the equation A over 3 is equal to 30. Amir thinks the value of A is 90. Ron thinks the value of A is 10. Who is correct? It's obviously Amir, right? You can, do your substitution. Remember what I said? If you can actually check your calculation, if you think an answer is actually right, you can go back in and check. So if we had to put 90 here, 90 divided by 3 is clearly 30. Yeah? So that's one way of checking your answers. And then you can pause the video for 4 minutes and do question 9 and 10. Okay, assuming you've paused the video, you've really worked hard, you've thought about what you're doing, here are the answers. So here, by now, you should know you're used to the bar model, you're beginning to realize some patterns. That I don't really need the bar model. I get this. I know what's going on. Yeah. So for example, this one, you say, I get it. I know what's going on. I just need to times this by that. This one, this times by that. You see, that's the answer. This one, now watch. This comes in and that goes out. So this is the same thing as saying 27 divided by 9 is equal to P. By now, you're beginning to spot patterns. And it's the same here. You say the Y comes out, we're looking for Y, and the 7 comes in. So this is the same thing as Y is equal to 210 divided by 7. And look at the answers. Yeah. Really interesting once you get the, how this whole thing works. Yeah. Okay. Now, question 10, you ask, what is the same and what's different about these equations? Of course, you can see here, this one is M. Yeah, so we have a big bar of M that we need to split into 10 equal parts. Yeah, it's equal to 5. And then here we have 10 divided by N, which is equal to 5. So these are really two different things. Remember what we explained about this? This is like saying, this one. This is like saying if I have a big bar of N, if I divide it by 10, I'm going to have 5 groups. So it's a bit like this one here, the one we did before. No. I'm getting myself confused now. So this one. So this one is a bit like the one we did before. So this one means if I have a big bar of 10, if I divide it by 5, I'm going to have n. 5 groups of n by dividing 10 into 5 little. So I'm going to have 5 groups of n in 10. That's what it means. Okay, so sorry about that. Getting myself a bit confused, very tired. Okay. All right, so this brings us to the end of our lesson. So what have we learned so far? We have learned that you can use the bar model to solve one step, the bar model to solve one step one step equations involving multiplication and division. Now, it's important that you understand how the fact families are formed and then thinking about which one you can use to solve the equations. Okay, until next time, take care and bye bye.